Hi everybody, Dacob here. Welcome back to the Fragrant Bunker. Today we're going to review, and it's also first impressions because I haven't smelled it yet, from Guerlain. This is really difficult to pronounce. I got a sample of this from Guerlain. Herbes Troublantes. Correct me, my dear French friends. Herbes Troublantes or Troublantes? Troublantes. Anyway, I guess troubled herbs or troubling herbs or troubling plants or troubled plants. Anyway, so 2021 is the year of release and Thierry Vasser is the nose behind it. Oh, okay. Very green, very green, very green. Oh, herbal notes, orange blossom, bergamot, and white musk. It's like, it's a cologne, basically, but they added the musk to make it a little bit more palpable. I guess they want to justify the price because this little baby here falls under the L'Art de la Matiere, the Art and Matter collection, which is the Les Exclusives version of Gaultier Fragrances, or the Hermescence version of Gaultier Fragrances, or the Collection Privée version of, not Gaultier, of Guerlain Fragrance. You know, all of these perfume houses have their like little exclusive niche segment that costs even more. Very interesting because it's kind of minty as well. Let's see what the Guerlain website has to say about this little perfume. And if we zoom in this, I'm using a green screen, so the green juice inside the bottle looks transparent, obviously, but this is the bottle. And subscribe to my channel while you're at it. Everything I say in this video is for entertainment purposes only, not rooted in truths or facts. Everything's alleged and just my opinion. Thank you. Subscribe, thumb up the video. So, what does Guerlain have to say? We're going to get to the price as well. Very thin, a vibrant and musky interpretation of freshness. Herbes Troublantes evokes the gentleness of a restful break, as per the Guerlain website. Lounging among the wild herbs, as fresh as they are tender. Beneath its bucolic shell, this fresh aromatic fragrance arouses powerful, vibrant emotions. The very spirit of eau de cologne is revisited here. It is very eau de cologne. Draped in a musky, cottony veil, combined with the charm of sparkling Calabrian bergamot and refreshing herbs. Herbes Troublantes is the new name of Un Dimanche à la Campagne, which means a Sunday in the countryside. You could kind of loosely translate it as like a weekend in the countryside. The fragrance artist's touch, also as per Guerlain, says the citrusy eau de cologne takes on light-hearted facets and is disrupted by vibrantly aromatic herbs. If it were a film, A Sunday in the Country by Bertrand Tavernier. Herbes Troublantes, formerly Un Dimanche à la Campagne. Okay, so it was another perfume that they just renamed to Troubled Herbs. Echoes the undefinable charm of this feature film. In it, we are shown scenes of a quiet country life, but the peace soon becomes disturbed. As such, it is not a far cry from this eau de cologne, in which musks and aromatic herbs act as troublemakers. The ingredients: alcohol, water, fragrance, limonene, linalool, butyl methoxydibenzoylmethan, citral, coumarin, citronolol, geraniol. Okay, woogo-all. Nothing special for the allergens. Now, when they talk about aromatic herbs, they say, as if just freshly picked for Herbes Troublantes, an aromatic herbal bouquet attempts to disrupt the insurmountable power of orange blossom, signature flower of eau de cologne, the outstanding top notes, natural aromatic essences of thyme, mint, there it is, and rosemary, imbue the fragrance with vibrancy and thrilling freshness. I immediately sensed the mint. In the perfumer's words, you confront your imagination. Sunday offers the perfect moment to take things slowly, with a stroll through the wild grasses, wearing an immaculately white t-shirt, fragranced with the clean scent of Marseille soap, says Delphine Yelk, Guerlain Perfume Creation Directeur and Parfumeur. So wait, so did Delphine Yelk do the perfume or Thierry Vasser? I guess Thierry and Delphine did it together, possibly. But yeah, definitely mint. I definitely sense the mint in here, and it's not a pleasant mint, in my humble opinion. Just saying. Something... Thyme, yeah, there's thyme in there. Rosemary. Wait, hold on. Let me take a sip of water to clear the palate. It does help when you drink. I know I'm not going to lick the perfume, but the water sometimes cleans the inner parts inside, and then when you smell... It is very, very green. And you know what? I'm getting the rosemary now. Here's the issue. And now I know people who, when you have all of these herbs, which you can also use to cook. Rosemary you can use in cuisine. Thyme you can also use in cuisine. Sometimes these have an effect on certain skin types where it smells of food. Spices for food rather than assuming the more fragrant accord of certain herbs. For example, with Immortelle, it's curry. Okay, so with Eau Noire from Dior, where the Immortelle is particularly strong, many people just smell kind of like McDonald's McGriddle with curry undertones, and on some skins it smells of food, while on other skins it blooms like more floral. Now, what I'm sensing here is a potential risk factor that on some skins it will develop more food-like, and on other skins it will develop more herbaceous, floral-like, more in the air rather than earthy and let's eat it. You understand? On me, it's kind of borderline. It's a very interesting smell because it kind of ticks on both sides. it kind of goes into that foodie territory, but then it jumps out of it again, and then it goes into a more perfumey territory. The silage is very tight. It doesn't project as much. I don't think this thing is going to have a lot of longevity unless later on, like 1-2 hours in, the musks warm up and kick in. And if they start playing some sort of subterfuge game against the herbaceous aspects of the perfume, then we might have a chance for this one surprising me, warming up with my body and giving me some sort of warmer version of this herbaceous opening, right? The thyme and the rosemary in particular. What else did they say was in here? Mint. Now, something in here is a little bit Play-Doh-y. Too doughy for my taste, and it turns this perfume, which I understand where it wants to go. I understand the direction. I understand it's actually a very interesting direction. There's also that paper accord, which I love in some cologne fragrances, but that doughy aspect kind of stops this fragrance from elevating, from letting it soar. I personally love my eau de colognes to elevate, to soar with their breeze and gentleness. Now, I understand that the name of this one is Troubled Herbes or whatever. So I understand that there's supposed to be some duality there in tension and friction. And if you're into friction, okay. But like, I think we can deliver friction in other ways as well. I don't know. I think it's a little bit simplistic to say, oh yeah, okay, we're going to do, thyme and rosemary and mint, and then they're going to have a clash with the musks. I'm like, yeah, okay, it's something we've heard a gazillion times before in perfumery, you know what I mean? So I don't know how, Miranda, groundbreaking this is, but it's that doughy aspect in here that weighs down this fragrance and doesn't elevate it to an elegant level where I would say, oh, okay, this baby is worth the money. And now let's get to the money, because, we've been talking about how upset I always am that Chanel 200 ml is exclusives. Empty. I got a new one, don't worry. But, until the last drop is done, I shall be using you. Love it to bits. But anyway, 200 ml. Okay, 200 ml. It just went up in price a short while ago in America. And who knows when you're watching this video, if you're watching it in a year, it's going to cost even more. But for now, in 2025, 200 ml will cut you back $540 plus tax in the States, or €440 in Europe. Now, for the same amount, and this is an eau de parfum, so this Herbes Troublantes is also an eau de parfum, 200 ml of Herbes Troublantes, so the same exact size, and they sell it to you as an eau de parfum, even though it's as light as an eau de cologne. They are selling it to you for $595. That's $5 short of $600. So might as well round it up to $600 plus tax. Okay, so you're looking at round about $650 after tax for 200 ml of eau de cologne that they're selling to you as an eau de parfum. Girl. You could also buy the 100 ml for $425 plus tax. Your choice. No. I'm sorry. I mean, it's an interesting smell. It's conceptual, what have you. But like, here. So just showing you guys so you get to see the price. 200 mil, $595. And then there's 100 mil, $425. And then they repeat again the 200 mil. But as you can see, that's what we're dealing with here. And quite frankly, I think that LVMH has lost the plot. And yes, LVMH owns Guerlain. Now, here I have to touch base on something that really irks me about LVMH. You know, every time they purchase another brand, they mess it up with the pricing. They've done it with Tiffany & Co. Okay, Tiffany & Co., you could get Elsa Peretti jewelry, beautiful stuff in silver and in gold. Decent prices for silver. LVMH takes over, double, triple, quadruple the price. Quality's worse. You know, Louis Vuitton also, what is going on with their canvas pieces and leather pieces and the glazing on the sides of the leather that's peeling and melting. And oh my God. They buy Birkenstock or Birkenstock, the shoes. They bought that a couple of years ago, LVMH. And the second they bought it, they started upping the price. Quality, they're not upping the quality. But they're so greedy. Just my opinion, allegedly. More. And now it came to bite them in the butt because their stocks have plummeted, okay? Bernard Arnault is now considering splitting up LVMH into different sub-brands, sub-corporations, trying to save face. They sold their stocks. They tried to sell as many stocks as possible to their co-workers. But if they sell it to you at a good price as a co-worker, I made a video about that on my main Super Dacob channel, you would be locked in for 5 to 10 years. You wouldn't be allowed to sell the stock. This is how they were trying to preserve the price of their stocks by getting their employees to buy the stock to save them. Why didn't you offer your employees to buy your stocks when you were doing good? Why didn't you offer your employees to buy them at a good price when you were doing good? Because you were greedy. And then when you saw that it was going to plummet, you're like, oh, let me do something great for our workers. Let me sell you the stock, okay, for a good price. But you're not allowed to resell it at least 10 years after you buy. And you did the same with Guerlain. With Guerlain, you're also upping your prices exorbitantly. And what am I smelling here? This is not $600 worth of perfume. Never in a million years, in my opinion, at least. Yeah, no. And thank you, LVMH, for actually letting me know that you're charging almost $600 plus tax for 200 ml bottle of a waterlet, okay? Because I was thinking Chanel was too expensive. Well, Chanel is cheaper than Guerlain. What do you know? So I'm like, okay, good. Thank you. You've just kind of made me girl math my way into convincing myself that Chanel is still worth the money. Because when I smell a Chanel perfume, Les Exclusives 200 ml, $60 cheaper. $60 cheaper than your eau de cologne? Like, what games are we playing here? It's cute. It's you know, but not cute enough. I'm sorry, Guerlain. I mean, and I love Guerlain. Don't get me wrong. Guerlain, you know, I love Jiki, I love Mitsuko, I love Après L'Onde, I love Liu. I love Shalimar. I love the current flankers that are out, the Millésime, Iris, and Jasmin. You know, I love Encens Mythique from the Incense collection with that beautiful Damascus rose. Like there are perfumes from Guerlain that are just, for me, they are staples. I will always love them. But then you're pushing forward this stuff and you're just like, I feel like you're charging a lot for the sake of charging a lot. Just to say like, look, we have this niche selection of fragrances and they are for the rich. We want the rich to feel special so we can rip them off, but at the same time, they feel like they bought something not everybody else can have. Well, at least make it smell like something special, huh? How about we start there and then we take it from there? Because honestly, like I can get an elegantly smelling cologne water. Yeah, even with the nuances that you say you have here, like this little troubled herbs, like by adding the musks and the contrast and the clash. Okay, honey boo boo cha, we can do the contrast and the clash in other ways as well. There are other brands and other colognes out there that deliver a different form of clash, maybe even more modern, maybe even more futuristic than this, you know? Doesn't have to be, and it's an okay perfume, really is, but this is like $70, $70 to $100 tops cologne for 200 ml, okay? This is like, you know, this is your $100 for like a big bottle, you pay $100 and it's still a lot. It's still a lot, but you pay $100 for 200 ml and then you bathe in it, you know? You refreshen up with it, you know, you take a shower and then you lavish yourself with it and it smells for, you know, 1 hour and then it's gone, but you feel fresh because you pampered yourself. That's the type of cologne this is. This is not a $600 plus tax experience because quite frankly, if I spent that much money on this perfume, I would feel uncomfortable. I would feel bad. I wouldn't feel, look, there's two ways that we can shop for luxury. There are, and I'm talking about regular folk, not millionaires and billionaires. And yes, I do believe that luxury should also be attainable to the regular folk. You don't have to buy a $2 million Ferrari to enjoy luxury. Luxury can be many different things. And like Coco Chanel said, the opposite of luxury is not poverty. The opposite of luxury is vulgarity. She also said, best things in life are free. Second best are very expensive. Beautiful sunsets, spending time with loved ones, that's pure luxury. Time is the biggest luxury. Once your time is up, it's up. Okay? This is how I perceive luxury. So, but there are two ways of spending money for luxury. One way is you spend the exact amount of money you feel comfortable spending for a certain item. You take it home, you come home, and you don't feel guilty for having purchased it. And then there are those luxury items that you can still afford, but you come home after you've purchased them and you feel guilty. Be honest here. We've all been there. We've all been there. Okay, I'm just trying to grow up and stop thinking in that way and buying stuff that I'm going to feel guilty for having purchased once I come back home. This, I would feel guilty. I would feel guilty. I would come home and I would be like, oh my God, what did I just do? I really feel bad now. And it's a lovely cologne fragrance. It really is. It's a lovely cologne fragrance, but $100 tops. That's all. But no, Bernard Arnault wants you to spend $600 plus tax, $595 plus tax for it. Why? Just because he's a billionaire and he wants to be even more rich? I don't think so. No, thank you. I'll stick with my 4711 cologne for $10, a bottle this big. Sometimes it's on sale. You can get it also on Amazon. It'll do just as fine. It smells a little bit more cheap, maybe. You know, the citruses are a little bit more synthetic. That's okay. I love my 4711. Love it to bits. If I want a really expensive cologne, I'll stick with Chanel's Les Exclusives Eau de Cologne. Or Mugler's cologne, which has been discontinued, but you can still find it here and there. Also a beautiful cologne. Or the discontinued Guerlain Shalimar cologne, Eau de Cologne, which you can still find somewhere at some CVS's here and there. You know, they still have some stock available. For 30, 40 bucks, you get a 75 ml perfection. That's where Guerlain shines. 75 ml for around about 35 to 40 bucks. Yeah. They've discontinued it because, again, LVMH wants to make more money. So if they can sell you a cologne for $600, why would they keep selling you a cologne for $40? Because you're the sucker who pays more. Because the bottle is cute, the bottle ain't cute, girl. It ain't worth the money, just in my humble opinion. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know your thoughts about troubled herbs. Love you loads. Subscribe and never give up on fragrant love. Bye.